Hello and welcome to Kashmir Now. I'm your host Shreyasa Vijay. Let's take a look at some stories of this week's episode. University students in illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan protest against discontinuation of fee reimbursement scheme. Azadi March organized in POK to protest against Pakistan's atrocities and its plans to declare GB a province. A young self-taught artist from Srinagar astounds all with her mandala artworks. Jammu hosts 32nd District Volleyball Championship with strict COVID-19 protocols. And later, we'll take you to get soaked in Chhath festivities in a special edition of Incredible India. Be it the government employees, students or local residents, everyone is going through one or the other state-manufactured crisis in the illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan. The successive governments in the region that have worked in cahoots with Islamabad have just filled their own coffers for years and never really bothered about the problems of locals. As a result, people have to come out on roads again and again to demand their rights. Recently, the students of Karakoram University in Gilgit held a massive protest against Islamabad, accusing the establishment of systematically depriving them of seeking higher education. We have a report.
In a recent turn of events, these students of Karakoram University came out on roads to protest against the discontinuation of Prime Minister's fee reimbursement scheme. Introduced in 2011, this scheme is a scholarship to reimburse tuition fees and on and off mandatory charges for the students from least developed areas of Balochistan, federally administered tribal areas and Gilgit-Baltistan. Chanting slogans against Prime Minister Imran Khan's government, students said that they have put this issue before the administration several times, but nothing has been done on ground so far.
एडमिशन लिया तो हम लोगों को इन लोगों ने नहीं बताया कि ये स्कीम खत्म हुई है, जिसकी वजह से क्या हो रहा है आजकल बहुत से मुश्किलात हमें पेश आ रही है। मुख्तलिफ प्लेटफॉर्म्स पे हम लोगों ने अपना ये जो इशू है ये लेके गए हैं, तो हुकूमत की तरफ से कभी 7 करोड़ के ग्रांट का ऐलान हुआ है तो कभी 5 करोड़ का, लेकिन अभी तक एक पैसा भी हमें नहीं मिला है।
The illegally occupied region of Gilgit-Baltistan is least developed when it comes to education. There is only one university in the region with a population of more than 3 million, and it too doesn't have any professional courses and adequate number of professors. And those educated youngsters who want to get enrolled in universities in Rawalpindi and Islamabad are not even provided with an opportunity. Students have time and again protested against this injustice, but administration, which largely operates at the commands of Islamabad, has only turned a blind eye. And now with the discontinuation of fee reimbursement scheme, they want to prevent them from attaining proper education as well.
आप लोगों को शर्म आनी चाहिए कि ये स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ बैठ के इस वक्त तालीम हासिल करने के लिए सड़क पर आए हुए हैं। और मैं ये बात दोबारा कहना चाहूँगा कि ये फ़ीस इसलिए ख़त्म की गई है ये स्कीम, क्योंकि ये माएँ बहनें न पढ़ें और लोग लाशऊर ही रहें। अगर ये बेटियाँ पढ़ेंगी, इनके बच्चे कल को शऊर हासिल करेंगे, आप लोगों के लिए ये मुसीबत बन जाएगी। इसलिए आप लोगों ने ये स्कीम ख़त्म कर दी गई है। इसलिए कोशिश ये करें कि आप अपने आप को बचाते हुए ये फीस इनकी फ़ीस बहाल करें दोबारा, ताकि बाइज़्ज़त तरीके से ये लोग अपनी तालीम हासिल करें। आर्टिकल 25A हमें इस बात की गारंटी देता है कि आपने तालीम हासिल करना हमारा हक है और फ्री तालीम देना रियासत की जिम्मेदारी है। और हमें कहते हो कि हम आइन शिकन है, आप लोग खुद आइन शिकन हो। आपने आर्टिकल 25A को पामाल किया, जिसकी वजह से आज लोग यहाँ स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ आके सड़क पर बैठे हुए हैं। यकीन करें, अगर आज आप लोगों ने यह मसला हल नहीं किया, यह मसला रोज़ बरोज़ बढ़ता रहेगा।
Such a state of affairs is not only limited to the education sector, but the people of Gilgit-Baltistan experience discrimination in almost all spheres of their lives. Either it is civil liberties or the quality of life, the people here have been granted almost nothing by the Pakistan establishment, which claims itself to be the protector of the region.
Ever since Gilgit-Baltistan and POK have been illegally occupied by Pakistan, the locals here have been facing subjugation and worst human rights violations. From exploiting their natural resources to doling out atrocities on them, Pakistan has used every arrow in its quiver to keep people in these illegally occupied territories deprived. To raise their voice against this suppression and Pakistan's announcement of making GB a province, an Azadi March was recently organized in the Rawalkot area of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Take a look.
Thousands of people took to streets in Rawalkot area of illegally occupied POK as they participated in Azadi March against the Pakistani occupation of Kashmir. Organized by Jammu Kashmir National Awami Party and Jammu Kashmir National Students Federation, the march commenced from the college grounds in Rawalkot and culminated into a large assembly at the Kachehri Chowk in the area. It was held in remembrance of the day when Pakistan had forcibly occupied Gilgit-Baltistan on 16th November 1947. It even tended to highlight the grave atrocities and gross human rights violation in the occupied region by Pakistan. During the march, demonstrators called out all the Kashmiris to not let Pakistan succeed in its plan to declare Gilgit-Baltistan a province.
आज के दिन हम यूम सियाह के तौर पर मना रहे हैं। 16 अक्टूबर 22 हो या 27 हो, इन दिनों में पाकिस्तान की गासिब कुर्तों ने हमारे मुल्क जम्मू कश्मीर नेशनल, हमारे मुल्क इस कश्मीर को टुकड़े किया और इस पर कब्जा किया है। हम समझते हैं कि इस कौम का फर्ज बनता है कि आज जब गिलगित को तकसीम करने जा रहे हैं, ये हम सब की जिम्मेदारी बनती है। ये नेशनल स्टूडेंट फेडरेशन या नेशनल अवामी पार्टी की जिम्मेदारी नहीं है। इस मुल्क में रहने वाले हम लोग नहीं हैं, बल्कि इस मुल्क के अंदर रहने वाले हर उस गैरतमंद की जिम्मेदारी बनती है।
Though none of the constitutions of Pakistan has recognized POK and Gilgit-Baltistan as part of Pakistan, but still it has made special efforts to ensure that both the regions remain in the control of its federal government, especially Gilgit-Baltistan. And now, in order to gain complete authority over the region, it went on to an extent of poll rigging. The entire political machinery, including Prime Minister Imran Khan, was working overtime to bring his own party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf or PTI, into power so that it can go ahead with its nefarious agenda of granting provisional status to Gilgit-Baltistan without any opposition.
गिलगित बल्तिस्तान के इलेक्शंस में धांधली हुई, यानी 3 हलके ऐसे हैं जहां से बॉक्सेस जो थे, पोलिंग बॉक्सेस वोट वाले, वो ही चोरी कर लिए गए। और बिलावल भुट्टो और मरियम नवाज जो हैं, 2 बड़े लीडर पाकिस्तान के, उन्होंने इन इंतखाबात के नतायज को तस्लीम करने से यकसर इनकार कर दिया है। और बिलावल भुट्टो ने तो यहाँ तक कहा है कि जब तक हमारी 3 जीती हुई सीटें जिनको इन्होंने धांधली से हरवाया है वो हमें वापस नहीं मिलती, हम गिलगित बल्तिस्तान से नहीं जाएंगे। तो ये है पाकिस्तान की एक गासिब हुकूमत की सरपरस्ती में होने वाले एक स्याह इंतखाबात।
Islamabad has grown desperate. It wants to gain complete political control over the region of Gilgit-Baltistan. China wants Gilgit-Baltistan to have a political status within the constitutional framework of Pakistan, so that its ambitious China-Pakistan economic corridor doesn't suffer any political roadblocks. Status elevation would also mean that Pak-China nexus can go to any levels of exploitation without undergoing right scrutiny. But the Kashmiris across POK and Gilgit-Baltistan are not ready to bow this time. They are all determined to get back what belongs to them.
It's been said, in every work of art, the artist himself is present. The land of Jammu and Kashmir has a history of producing some of the best painters, artists and craftsmen in the country. The new one to join the list is a self-taught young Kashmiri artist from Srinagar who is excelling in making mandala artworks and is turning out to be an inspiration for other aspiring artists in the territory. Take a look.
Home to a number of different indigenous art forms, the Kashmir Valley has produced some of the best artists and painters in the history of Indian art and craft. Hailing from Srinagar district of Jammu and Kashmir, Soliha Qureshi is a self-taught artist who has excelled in making mandala artworks. Showing keen interest in art and crafts, Qureshi started making these artworks at a very young age without any formal training. She even started participating in art and craft competitions and realized her interest and talent as an artist.
आर्ट जर्नी मेरी शुरू हुई जब मैं 3rd क्लास में थी और तब से शुरू हुआ और मैंने तब कॉम्पिटिशन्स में पार्टिसिपेट करना शुरू किया और वहाँ बाकियों का आर्ट वर्क देख के मैं काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंस्पायर हुई। बट टिल 10th मैं ज़्यादा इन्वॉल्व नहीं थी इस चीज़ को लेके, बट देन +2 में मुझे थोड़ी गाइडेंस मिली, थोड़ा सपोर्ट भी मिला और फिर शुरू हुआ। जब 4th क्लास में एक सब्जेक्ट हुआ करता था हमारा ये, बट तब ज़्यादा सीरियसली मैंने इस चीज़ को नहीं लिया। बट जब मैंने कॉम्पिटिशन्स में पार्टिसिपेट करना शुरू किया और वहाँ अपने लेवल के जो बच्चे हैं उनका काम देखा, तो उस चीज़ से मैं काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंस्पायर हुई कि जब ये कर सकते तो मैं क्यों नहीं कर सकती।
Apart from making mandala and other forms of artworks, Qureshi is also pursuing her bachelor's degree in economics honors. She has maintained a proper timetable so that she could properly manage both her studies as well as her passion. Apart from winning a number of art and painting competitions, including a prize from Department of Handloom and Handicrafts, Jammu and Kashmir, Qureshi has also worked with some reputed film production houses as a storyboard artist and an art director. Qureshi's friends and family are extremely proud of her endeavors and hope that she continues to inspire more youngsters in the valley.
सालिहा में वो टैलेंट है कि वो अपने आर्ट से शोकेस कर पाती है, काफ़ी सारे इश्यूज़ को वो हाईलाइट कर पाती है कि जो हम बोल नहीं पाए या जो हम ऐसे वोकल होकर लोगों तक पहुंच ना पाए, वो ये अपने आर्ट के थ्रू पहुंच पाती है लोगों तक।
तो आपको लगता है कि इसको देख के बहुत सारी लड़कियां
बहुत यूथ इंस्पायर होता है, क्योंकि आजकल का यूथ ज़्यादा इस चीज़ में जाता नहीं है, लेकिन इस चीज़ सालिहा के इस आर्ट से बहुत ज़्यादा यूथ को ये मैसेज मिलती है कि अगर कोई आपके में कोई टैलेंट है, आप में कोई चीज़ है जो आप हैं, तो आप वो इजहार करें, आप वो दिखाए लोगों को कि हम में ये टैलेंट है या हम ये कर सकते हैं।
Mandala arts are geometric patterns, diagrams or drawings that represent the cosmos metaphysically or symbolically. Qureshi thinks that these mandala arts represent the connection between humans and the universe and is also a creative expression of life. She aims at creating more artworks that not only reflect this divine connection but also highlight the various issues that are often ignored.
Jammu and Kashmir has a history of producing some of the best sportspersons of India. Now, as all activities are slowly resuming amid the pandemic, sport activities have again gathered pace in the territory. Let's take a look at the volleyball championship that was recently organized in Jammu district following COVID-19 norms.
Youngsters in Jammu and Kashmir are not only excelling in studies but are also proving their caliber in different sports and games like football, cricket, martial arts and more. Now, as the country is returning back to normalcy amid the pandemic, authorities have started organizing different sporting events and activities in the region. Recently, the 32nd Jammu District Volleyball Championship was organized in Jammu with the motive of bringing back youngsters to the sports scenario.
तो ये 32nd डिस्ट्रिक्ट वॉलीबॉल चैम्पियनशिप है, तो हम चाहते हैं कि स्पोर्ट्स का भी थोड़ा बढ़ावा मिले और आगे हम नेशनल लेवल तक जाएं। तो सब कुछ स्टक हुआ था, अभी आगे बढ़ रहा कोविड के कारण, तो फिर आगे बढ़ना चाहिए और ये वॉलीबॉल स्पोर्ट्स है तो इसको थोड़ा मोटिवेशन मिलनी चाहिए और आगे नेशनल से फिर आगे इंटरनेशनल भी जाना चाहिए, हमारे जम्मू से आगे जाना चाहिए।
Held at the Jammu University ground, the event was organized under the aegis of Volleyball Association of Jammu and Kashmir. The championship had a total of 16 teams, including 12 boys and 4 girls, who competed with each other on a knockout basis. The competition was declared open by Dr. Daud Iqbal Baba, the Director of Department of Physical Education at Jammu University.
जम्मू डिस्ट्रिक्ट वॉलीबॉल चैम्पियनशिप है, जिसमें कि जम्मू डिस्ट्रिक्ट के डिफरेंट क्लब्स और जो उसमें स्पोर्ट्स टीम्स हैं वो इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रही हैं और इसमें ऑलमोस्ट जम्मू डिस्ट्रिक्ट से 12 टीमें जो है इसमें पार्टिसिपेट कर रही हैं। आज जितने भी बड़े बड़े इवेंट्स थे वो कोविड-19 की वजह से पोस्टपोन करने पड़े, लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं एक्टिविटीज़ जो है फिर से जो है, जैसे आपने देखा अभी आईपीएल बड़ी सक्सेसफुल हुआ, बाकी एक्टिविटीज़ भी जो वर्ल्ड में जो स्पोर्ट्स एक्टिविटीज़ हैं वो स्टार्ट हो चुकी हैं। उन्हीं तर्ज पे हमने भी अब सोचा है कि जम्मू यूनिवर्सिटी इन कोलैबोरेशन विद एसोसिएशंस और हमारे जो अपने इवेंट्स हैं हम उसको जो है हमने स्टार्ट कर दिया है, लेकिन वी विल टेक केयर कि जितने भी एसओपी सरकार के हैं उन सबका पूरा पालन किया जाए, ध्यान रखा जाए।
Authorities in Jammu and Kashmir are taking continuous steps to promote volleyball in the territory, as a result of which many youngsters are coming to the fore and emerging as some of the best volleyball players in the country. Saklan Tariq, He participated in the 10th Asian Youth Volleyball Championship held at Colombo as a captain of Indian team in the year 2014. Shaukat Ahmed and Shahid Majid. Both of them got selected for the 19th Asian Under-20 Men Volleyball Championship held at Bahrain in 2018. Shabir Ahmed Tantre and Najar Singh. They got selected for the 12th Asian Under-18 Men Volleyball Championship held at Iran in 2018. It is said that sports not just instill leadership qualities but also help to maintain a healthy lifestyle. And with such tournaments organized on day-to-day basis, it will surely encourage youngsters to opt for sports as a profession.
A famous writer of Indian origin, Siddharth Katragadda, once said that the greatness of a culture can be found in its festivals. And so, the greatness of a country like India can be examined by sparing a glance at the vivid and vivacious list of festivals celebrated here. Ranging from harvest to the one dedicated to several gods and goddesses, the country celebrates n number of festivals throughout the year. So, today in our special section of Incredible India, we take you to witness the auspicious festivities of Chhath Puja, which was recently celebrated with great joy and enthusiasm.
Observed on Kartik Shukla Shashti, Chhath Puja that traces its origin to prehistoric Vedic times has gained a special significance as a folk festival. Dedicated to Chhati Maiya, also known as Shashti Mata, and Surya along with his wives Sandhya and Usha, the 4-day festival holds immense significance for married women who observe fast and stand in waist-deep water to present religious offerings to the sun god. The rituals and traditions of the festival are very hard as the devotees had to fast for 36 hours without a single bite of food or a drop of water. This year, due to the coronavirus, many people came up with different alternatives to avoid visiting ghats and observe the festivals at their home itself.
हम लोग हर प्रत्येक वर्ष हम लोग ब्रह्मपुत्र किनारे में जाके सूर्य अर्घ देते थे और छठ पूजा को पूरा परिवार के साथ मनाते थे। पर इस बार जो महामारी पूरे विश्व में आया हुआ है, साथ में हमारे असम गुवाहाटी में भी, तो इसका पालन करते हुए हम लोग पूरा परिवार अब विचार किए हैं आपस में कि क्योंकि मेरे पिताजी सीनियर सिटीजन है, 65 साल से ऊपर उम्र है, मेरी मम्मी का भी करीब 60 साल से ऊपर उम्र है और छोटे बच्चे हैं, इन सब के एहतियात बरतते हुए हम लोग इसे अपना घर में ही छठ पूजा करने का मनाए, जिसके हम छत पे एक छोटा सा टब बनाए हैं और सारा लोग सब परिवार यहीं पे छठ मनाएंगे।
Celebrated with immense zeal and enthusiasm, the festival lasts for 4 days. On the first day, also known as Nahai Khai, devotees take a bath, particularly in the river Ganga, and bring the holy water of the river to make prasad at home. They also cleanse their houses and eat vegetarian food to protect the mind from the vengeful tendency.
आज के दिन हम लोग गेहूं धोते हैं, घर में अपना साफ सुथरा करके कद्दू दाल सब्जी सारा नियम पूर्वक से नहाए खाए का व्रत का शुरुआत करते हैं।
On the second day, also known as Kharna, devotees make offering that comprise of kheer, puris, chapatis and bananas, besides observing fast for the whole day. These items are then distributed to the family and neighbors after worshipping Chhati Maiya. The toughest is the Sandhya Arg, the third day of Chhath, when devotees, mostly women, observe a rigid fast where they neither consume water nor food. In the evening, they go to the bank of the river or pond, carrying along with them a dowry, a basket made up of bamboo sticks, in which they keep the offerings that comprise of thekua, puri, coconut, banana and other seasonal fruits. After this, devotees offer Sandhya Arg to sun god with their families.
इस पर्व का महत्व यही है कि मतलब सब परिवार इकट्ठा होकर हम लोग करते मनाते हैं, सबको सुख शांति मिलता है, घर में बरकत होता है, मतलब जो मांगते हैं वो पूरा हो जाता है।
Usha Arg marks the final day of this holy festival, on which devotees gather at the bank of the river early in the morning to make offerings to the rising sun, following which they break their fast. During all the 4 days, devotees observe purity and live frugally. They thank Sun God and his wives for showering blessings and sustaining life and energy on earth.
छठ के महत्व होता है, हम लोग औरतें 3 दिन व्रत रहते हैं माँ खष्टी देवी के, बहुत खुशी से हम लोग व्रत करते हैं। छठी मैया हम लोग के मनसा पूर्ण करती हैं।
Chhath is considered as one of the most significant and auspicious festivals in northern Bihar and in parts of the neighboring Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand. With time, the festival has also gained popularity in metropolitan cities as people from these states migrate in large numbers to make a living.
So, that's all we have for you in this week's episode. Till we see you next week, it's goodbye from the entire production team.
अरे बबलू, लॉकडाउन खुलते ही टहलने निकल पड़े। महामारी अभी फैली हुई है।
सरपंच जी टहलने नहीं, काम पे वापस जा रहे हैं।
तुझे डर नहीं लगता वायरस पकड़ लेगा?
पहले थोड़ा बहुत डर लगता था, फिर पता चला कि अगर मैं